Alright, it's the first week of August. Sherlock is having a little snack in the grass over here. And we have a building pad. So let's walk over to it. The mobile home setup people were here this week. And they were, right here's the location where the well is going to be. They were over here sometime this week putting in the building pad. What the building pad normally consists of is they scrape the top dirt off, which the top dirt's probably over here somewhere. Then they come back, put fresh dirt in, and then flatten it out so you have a nice stable surface. Otherwise, when you set something heavy, like in this case a mobile home on it, it would start sinking irregularly and then you'll end up with a bunch of problems. So, oh, Sherlock's on the move. Yep. It's rained very inconsistently, so you can see the dust trail behind the dog as he's moving. Okay, so looks like nothing's really happened. The septic tank, we got all the paperwork and all that nonsense done this week. So Monday, the mobile home people will get a check. The building's supposed to be out here sometime on Monday so they can start setting it up. Then they have to install the septic system, which is going right here. Then per Horry County, once we're completely on the property, then they can start messing around with Andrea's mother. Since Andrea's mother's, it's technically a single wide, but because of its size, it's considered like an accessory structure. So the primary structure, which would be ours, would have to be on first. So I'm walking down here because I think our storage building's gonna go over in this area here. So right now, at least until proven otherwise, we're gonna have a 12 by 16 storage building that we're gonna build. It's significantly cheaper for us to build it than try to buy anything. So I think it's gonna go right in this area. I was on Craigslist earlier this week to try to see if there was a lawn tractor or something for sale. And some guy said that he's getting too old to be farming. He's selling an actual tractor, like with the 5-foot high wheels and everything, and a bunch of farm implements like plows and harrows and cultivators and stuff like that. And he's selling everything for like $5,000-6,000. Unfortunately, that's way too big for us. And not to mention that 12 by 16 building wouldn't even come close to fit all that stuff. So as much as I would love to, I don't think that we can actually do that right now. Although it would be awesome to actually be on a tractor, like an actual tractor. So the videos would be great for that. Looking at the soybeans over here, they're coming along really nicely. Looks like they've jumped a lot since last week that we were out here. I wonder if there's actually any soybeans or anything on here yet. Oh, looks like, okay, looks like they're getting ready to, they've either already germinated or they're getting ready to germinate. Oh, we actually have some food. So Andrea has some squash. Here's our garden. Our garden kind of took for the worst here. We just haven't been able to maintain it. We've had a bunch of rotting stuff on here. And the bugs are really bad over here. Those cucumbers look absolutely pathetic, but they still got flowers all over them, so that's funny. And there's a bunch of squash and stuff. So I thought we were done with squash for the season, but I guess not. Don't really see any cantaloupe to pick, although I do see a rotten one over there.
Every one that was ready was rotten.
Yeah.
Should have come up Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, Andre said that there were some that we could have potentially got, but they're rotten. So, oh well, this was our experimental garden. I'm thinking so far with current food prices between the vegetables we've gotten to date, not including today's, and the tomatoes we have at the apartment, I think we've made like $200 worth of vegetables. So, minus the fence and the stakes, we've more than recouped the money we put into the farm, even in its sad state. And even though we couldn't be up here all the time. So the tomatoes, obviously we're able to do a lot better because we've been able to be there and babysit them a lot more. And you know, there's some rotten cantaloupe there. But there's also sweet potatoes intermixed in here, so
that's pretty much the only thing that's like really green.
So we'll find out in a couple of months whether we actually have any sweet potatoes. So yeah, the money that we've theoretically made from this farm, now by made, I mean that we didn't have to go to the grocery store and buy anything, has been about $200 total, so I call that a win. Obviously, if we were able to be out here full time and stuff, that yield would be a lot more. This is not going to be the permanent place for our garden, by the way. What we decided to do is that we started the garden before we talked to the farmer about farming all of this. So we just stuck it over here. Well, come to find out, what we're going to do next year is we're just going to have him come straight across over here. So all this area, this little jog area, he's going to pick up for farming. And then our farm area is going to be back over here. Because we theoretically want to put a pond over in the corner over here. Septic tank, drain fields over there. And then we're going to stick the garden in the center. And this garden here is about, what was it? I think it's like 16 by 23 or something like that.
Yeah, 16 by 24.
So Andre's like, well, that's not big enough. So I put on our site plan that we have on the computer something that was like 60 by 100, which was 6,000 square feet. And she goes, is that going to be big enough? And I said, Andrea, this thing is 60 by 100 feet. She goes, how big? I said, 100 feet. And she goes, that's going to be too big. So, unfortunately, off of the 9 acres, we only get the slum of 2 acres of usable land. Because it's about 3 acres total to go from one side to the other. But we got all the trees, and then we got the front area that we can't really use. So we're talking about, out of the 3 acres in the front area, we only got about 2 acres usable. What we want to do is put Bahia grass here next spring. Bahia, at least in South Carolina, that's what they use for highway grass. I don't know how cold of climates it can get, but at least down here, that's the grass they use for the highways. The reason is it's very drought tolerant and very rain tolerant. So if we can get it established, then it'll be able to choke out all the weeds and crap that we're growing in here. So even though it's been 2 or 3 weeks since the bush hogging happened, it still looks like it's in fairly good condition. So I'm hoping that we might only need to bush hog it once more. What the plan is after we get in and everything, you know, we get the drive done, then we're gonna have the farmer come out here. We'll have him come out, plow all of the outside area, not the drain field, but everything else, and then come over to level out all the ground, because soybeans are the last thing that were done here, and as you can see, there are bumps everywhere. So we're going to get the bumps out in the springtime, and then we're going to plant the grass seed, and then hopefully it'll work, and hopefully it's not going to need too much maintenance in order to work. But then I found out the road that our dirt road connects into, I don't know if it's a state highway or it's a county highway, but it's a highway nonetheless, and it's obviously paved and everything. Sherlock, come here. Sherlock. All right, the dog is just doing what he wants to do, as per usual. So we have in Horry County what we call a RIDE program, R-I-D-E, and it's an acronym for something. But basically what it does is every so often the county people will come up with road projects, big ones and small ones. And here, come here. All right, giving Sherlock this is how we give him a doggy cool down. Sorry about that. All right, so anyway, they come up with road projects to do, and then the county votes on it. We vote on it in the next election, and it's a penny sales tax, where they increase the sales tax by a penny. So instead of 7%, it would be 8% for us. And then we turn around, and since we have our 20 million tourists every year, they pay the lion's share of the sales tax stuff, and we get a bunch of road projects. And so I was looking, they have the major projects which are listed individually, but then they have paving projects, as in resurfacing existing roads. So that highway is under that, where it's just going to get resurfaced. They're going to strip the top layer of the asphalt and put new asphalt on. But then they have paving project, which is paving dirt roads. And I looked, and the road that we're going to be on is on the list. Now granted, it's in the last section, which means it's probably not going to happen for a couple of years. But our dirt road will not be dirt road for more than probably 2 to 3 years. So I'm happy and sad about that, because part of the allure of being out here was being on the dirt road. But at the end of the day, if I had a choice between a paved road and a dirt road, I'll pick a paved road. But right now I kind of like that the closest asphalt to us is a quarter of a mile away. So, all right, so Andre got everything out of the garden, and so it looks like we're gonna have squash boats again this week. And now next weekend when we come out here, or if Andre drags me out in the middle of the week sometime, then the house should be out here. And so if that's the case, then of course we'll do a video in the middle of the week. Otherwise I'll be on the weekend. So things are moving. Moving season in Myrtle Beach is in the late summer, early fall. So we scheduled, originally we were going to do a U-Haul thing, and we're like, no, we're getting too old for U-Hauls. So called moving companies, and long story short, the earliest they had is September 21st. And now granted, we're at the beginning of August. So it's like it was 7 weeks out was the earliest, and there was only like a couple of appointments in September. Then you're having to get in October. So right now, unless there's proven otherwise, September 21st is our official move date. We'll probably have complete access to the trailer long before then, like maybe at the end of this month, early next month. So we'll be moving on that day. And then our lease, we went and broke our lease. So we paid the break lease fee, and that is at the end of September, September 30th. So from the 21st until the 30th, we have to get that place spick and span. And even though we got it bush hogged, we still got gnats and bugs and stuff all over the place, and Sherlock's on the hunt for something over there. So, all right, I think I've rambled on long enough. This video is getting to be about 16 minutes long. So as soon as we get stuff updated, we will send it out.